Welcome to the podcast. Nikki and I are going to the fair.
Woo!
Yeehaw!
Yeah, let's get our fair stuff on. I don't know what that is.
What's our fair stuff?
Well, like, do you put on boots or a cowboy hat or a button-up or jeans?
I've got sunscreen and a hat.
Good enough.
So
Good enough.
that's my fair gear.
I'm bringing a Powerade Zero. So
Yeah, you are.
I'm ready to
Come
hydrate and be good, but not too hydrate because I don't want to use the restrooms at the fair. So I just have to walk a line.
That's a legitimate concern.
It is a concern. But yeah, we're going to our local state fair.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so things to expect in today's podcast. We've got, we found this arcade machine thing that looks so cool. So cool. We also learned lessons about botulism cheese, vitamin gummies.
Too many vitamin gummies.
Ninja cities, naked jumping jacks.
Lots of really important things that I feel might come up in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, so you guys just make sure you stick around and learn.
We posted about the video game console, the unit, the cabinet. You can check that out if you make sure to follow us and join us at RadioU RIOT. That is our Facebook page. And if you do join us there, say hello, post something, or message us and tell us you're from the podcast.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did you share it on the Riot page?
I thought you did.
I did. I was just making sure.
I saw it there.
Because I was like, oh, we both shared it, so now there's two.
No.
Okay.
I saw it before we started talking.
Okay.
I was like, oh, he posted it there.
Just making sure. Wanted to,
No double postings here, guys.
We got it. Don't you, everybody just relax.
Enjoy the podcast and have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Awful, terrible, horrible, pathetic. Someone grab me a thesaurus. I'm gonna need more words to describe how bad these guys are. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
This room needs an arcade machine, Nikki.
Well, yeah, we've talked about that before. I'd love a pinball machine for some reason.
Nikki and I went to Tooth and Nail Records, walked in, and the first thing they had off to the left was a Galaga / was it Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man machine?
I think it was one of them, yes.
And it was like both games, one cabinet. And
Not too much, just a nice, reasonable amount for an arcade game size.
I have never seen this, but apparently it's a thing, and the pre-orders are out. There's a company called Arcade One Up, and what they are doing is they're going to be selling these kind of slightly scaled down recreations of arcade machines. And so they have, if you've ever seen an arcade machine, like they've got the really cool art on the side of it.
Yeah.
And then the marquee art and stuff.
I always called it like the cabinet part of it.
Yeah, it is. It's the cabinet. And so they have, depending on what you buy, like they'll have a bunch of different games in it. So like here's one that's a 3-player one. You can play Rampage, Gauntlet, or Joust. Here's a Final Fight cabinet that has that 1944 Ghosts and Goblins. And I think that says Strider, but I can't tell. Or
that's okay.
Like something that was super popular back in the day, Street Fighter 2. And it has 3 different versions of Street Fighter 2 built into the cabinet. And the pre-orders for these things, there are a total of 5 of them. You'd have to pick which one you wanted. But pre-orders went live. Walmart's selling them for $300.
Oh, that's actually a really good price.
I don't think it's bad at all.
It's the whole thing for that much money?
You have to pick from one of the 5.
Like,
yes.
Yes, but it's one cabinet. But you're right. I see the scale. You must notice the scale difference. They'll show you what it is. It's smaller.
They say it's a 3/4 scale from what you'd be used to seeing in an arcade. But that's actually good because, a full arcade machine in the house might be like a little bit too big.
if you were at your height, like you've capped out, you'd have to sit down and play.
That is true. And they actually show on the website there you sitting down playing it.
Just as a heads up, because sometimes people don't notice those details, and I could see a little bit of a disappointment when it comes in then. You're like, wait, why is it shrunk? Have I gotten bigger?
What
You're
happened?
just afraid.
I just remember these being a lot bigger than this.
It's really cool, though, for the price. I mean, that'd be really neat in a room or a house or something.
I think it would be cool, especially some of these games that like Gauntlet, for example. That would be something that would be fun, and you could play 3 people at once on the one arcade machine. I don't know. Like, that seems like something that would be fun. And up until this point, I don't pay a whole lot of attention, but, arcade machines can be had if you get into the market for them in a $200 to $300 price range. But an actual arcade machine, that's almost an enthusiast thing. Like, there's a lot of upkeep and different things you have to do. Something like this, it's probably It's probably just an LCD TV with whatever.
Sure.
So,
Now, I'm sorry, did you mention, I believe we have to install it ourselves?
well, what does that mean?
You have to put it together. I'm watching the step-by-step instruction video. It doesn't seem hard, but I think you do have to.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Like-
well, we say that, and, it's the only thing I put together recently is IKEA, and that's just a mess.
I was going to say,
This must be easier.
What do you think? Maybe like some IKEA. Okay, I'm scrolling through the parts. Those are literally like IKEA parts.
Yeah, it does not seem too hard.
I think putting that thing together would be no big deal. Like you guys could do it, guys. You could do it.
So if you want a smaller scale game cabinet, this could be an option.
I think it's really cool, man.
For your birthday?
Maybe.
You want an old game?
Sure, the Riot could start eating healthy, or they could continue living happy, enjoyable lives. The Riot on Radio U.
I went to New York. Yeah. Start spreading the news. Obadiah's back again today.
Well, he left a long time ago.
He wanted to be a part of it.
He was a part of it.
He was a part of it. New York. And then he took the tunnel out. And he's back here.
It's like Broadway.
I know, right? You feel it. You feel
I feel
it.
the emotion.
Wow.
Just nice.
So, you know what? I found New York to be a great time. I enjoyed it. I don't think I would want to live there, or at least I wouldn't want to live in the touristy parts.
Well, I was going to say, we want to live in you go to New York City and you're a tourist, which makes you feel like I could totally live here.
Right.
But you realize that's not what it's like to actually live there. You can never afford it.
Yeah, no. I've got enough. I think I make enough in a year for rent for like a month.
And you still wouldn't be in the city at that point. You'd be out.
I mean, that's in a cardboard box in Jersey, but still.
It's lovely, though.
I can still...
It's a walk-in.
Walk across the tunnel to the thing. But, okay. So, in New York, they have done this. This is great. They have taken a look at what they have figured out is the slowest bus in New York City.
Like the route or just the actual bus?
The route.
Okay.
It's the M42 route. They say that as it passes through New York, it averages 3.2 miles per hour.
Great.
Wow.
Well, it's busy and it's hard to get through, especially for a bus.
Oh, this is a great statement. Riding a bus can feel like being at a funeral procession where you are awaiting a slow caravan of crowded, crawling, bunched buses. It's maddening. Much more can be done to make them faster. So this is a group that is like, hey, guys, we need to do better with the buses.
Well, what do they suggest?
I don't actually know. But they say that riding a bus in New York City is an incredibly stressful experience. And that technically with this one particular bus route at 3.2 miles an hour
is the worst.
You can walk faster to your destination than you can ride the bus.
Yeah, but then you'd be walking and you're in the bus.
I don't know. That is one thing I do wish. Like, I, of course, am very glad to have a car. That's wonderful. And, I have a commute in. I do miss living on campus and all of the walking to go places. And I know that people find that annoying when you're in that circumstance, but just all of that extra walking, it's good for you.
Yeah, but now you're just too far away. You couldn't possibly.
And now I've finally reached the point where I'm like, I got to go all the way to the break room.
Oh, it's too much. But if you still have
the break room, look how far away it is.
You still have that stamina, that endurance from school.
Well, that's what I'm saying is we either need to make this building a couple of miles long or I'll go to the park and ride, but it'll be the park and walk. I'll park down the street. I'll walk to the station. I don't know. But they are saying very slow. When I was in New York, I didn't do a bus. In fact, I've never ridden a bus in New York. Certainly done the subway. Certainly done a taxi cab. Cabs are not cheap, but they're not as expensive as you think they are. I don't think I'm sure I couldn't afford to do that if I lived there, but just when
only
you're
on
visiting.
special occasions can you afford it.
When you're visiting, it's not so bad.
My favorite part of the worst of the riot, when they shut up and the music starts. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
You ever do that thing where I don't even know how I want to say it. I've been reading a book, all right? And one of the things the book talks about is building a narrative. And so the idea is this, like you go into a social situation and you build a narrative. So like, for example, I come to work and I walk in the studio and Nikki sits there and does not say good morning and she just stares down at her phone the whole time.
That's not building a narrative.
No, that happens. And then the narrative I built, this is still theoretical.
In the story time, okay.
So like, if that happened, then on the inside, I'm like, well, Nikki obviously hates me and only loves her phone, and she never cares about anything that matters to me, blah, blah, blah. That's the narrative I built.
Sure.
Casting Nikki as the villain in my story. But in reality, what I don't know is that Nikki's receiving a very important text message from home that she's very distraught over because, I don't know, the dog ran away and they're looking for the dog. You know, something like that.
You didn't know the actual story, but you built a story of what you thought was going on.
You build a story about people that's a bad story about people, right? And so this book was talking about how...
That's fascinating.
But we all do it.
We all do it. I'm sure we all do it a lot.
We do it a lot. I did it last night. I had something that came up, and I got so mad about this thing.
The narrative that you built up?
And then it was that thing where I just sat there and I was like, all right, now wait a minute. Like, this is ridiculous. Everything that I have thought about this, I know that it's not true. Like, yes, I'm mad about it. I'm owning that. I'm expressing that. I'm releasing it. And I'm examining it. And I'm looking at the fact that, hey, like, I'm mad about this thing, but they didn't, like, this is not a personal affront. This is not a whatever. I've just built a story around it that is not true. And I think there are tons of things in our life like that. And here's something I want you to consider. Two things, actually. One, how many people in your life have you totally given a bum rap just because you built some story around them that you have no proof that's true? In fact, you could be way wrong. You totally misread them, and you've been misreading them forever. That's A. Here's B, all right? There's somebody else in the world that you've been doing that about, and I'm talking about God. Have you ever thought about the narrative you build around God? I hear people say it all the time, like, well, God didn't really want me to have that, so my car blew up, or like, I don't know, whatever. They build this kind of story about God, and I often find myself thinking, like, well, have you actually talked to God about that? So you can have a relationship with God. You can get to know Jesus for who he is. And I would actually challenge you to take some of the stories that you've built about God to him in that relationship and be like, all right, God, here's this thing I've been thinking about. What is that right? Did I get that right? Because see, when you get to know somebody personally, you start to not believe your false narrative. Like if I walked in and Nikki was staring at her phone and didn't say good morning, it would be like, obviously, she's busy, and that's fine. And I would be okay.
End of story.
That would be it. But that's the thing. We've built these stories. Let's get some truth involved. And the best truth you can get is getting to know God for yourself. Say, Jesus, I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want to know the truth about you. And here's some of the stuff I think. What are you really like? Get to know God firsthand.
There are two types of people in this world, and neither one of them likes the Riot. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
You know, Christmas in July just has a little bit of time left.
Almost done, though. If you have not yet experienced our Christmas in July channel, we host some Christmas music for you that you can listen to. You only have through next week. The end of July brings the end of the channel.
Mm-hmm. So
then you have to wait till November.
Better get ready
for the other one.
Better take some time today, tomorrow, or this weekend, or else you're going to find yourself home alone with no
Christmas music
channel
in July. So that's at RadioU.com, our RadioU app, and the RadioU Roku channel. You can actually just watch it if you want to there.
Well, I just decided we're definitely having a Home Alone themed question of the morning next.
We
but
are?
First,
again, more Home Alone?
But first, Nikki, let's talk. There's a reason why. I'm not just randomly talking about Home Alone.
Well, we talked yesterday about a fan theory, so we'll talk more.
Here's another fan theory. Maybe you've heard of him. His name's Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
You familiar with him?
Deadpool?
He wants to remake Home Alone.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
I didn't think this was real at first, but apparently it's real.
They are a spin on it.
Instead of being Home Alone, it will be called Stoned Alone. And so the idea is it's about a guy who does miss his flight. And because he misses his flight, he goes home and gets really high. And then he gets really paranoid and thinks that people are trying to break into his house. Mm-hmm. And that's the movie.
That's the twist on that?
So far, that's what they've got.
Is it supposed to be like Kevin grown up, or?
I don't know.
No one knows.
I don't know. But
When I saw the article, I thought, you know what? I was a little disappointed. I actually kind of would have liked a remake of Home Alone. Not with some sort of thing with it, but...
It seems like we're probably in that territory, right? How old is Home Alone? Like 30 years old? It's an old movie, right? Mm-hmm. So it does seem
Which you just called the one guy then old, or whoever's the kid.
Well, I mean, like
he must be in his 30s then, or maybe 40s.
No, dude, he's in his like mid 40s or whatever.
You think so?
Okay, here's where it gets weird. I saw a thing the other day. Did you know he dated Mila Kunis?
Yeah.
She dumped him to start dating Ashton Kutcher.
Kutcher?
Oh, help me. That guy.
This is why you don't do gossip news or anything like that. We just can't do it.
But
it's not natural.
It's weird. I read it. You know me. I spend my days looking for Home Alone news online. I'm in that Home Alone
it popped
subreddit,
up and you're like, "What am I learning about?"
Me and my friends in that subreddit just hanging out talking about all the latest Home Alone. Where are they now? Kind of news.
There it is.
So that's the word. They're going to make a new Home Alone called Stoned Alone. And I don't even know if it'll be a Christmas movie.
I was glad that it was Ryan Reynolds. At first, I thought, who's the other guy who does all those movies? Seth
MacFarlane?
Is that the one? You know the guy, though. The one who has that laugh. This is why we don't do this.
I'm just going to go ahead and everybody imagine the person you want to imagine with that laugh.
Someone text me. What's his name? You know the guy. Seth Rogen.
Okay.
Seth
all right.
Rogen.
Okay.
I assumed and imagined it was going to be something that he was going to do since he had all those movies along those styles, and I guess maybe I prefer Ryan Reynolds.
Well, I won't disagree with you that I would take Ryan Reynolds over Seth Rogen, but... Oh, look at that. Nick, our news guy, he's the one that fired off Seth Rogen.
Oh, is it?
Good for you.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's it for our news. We can't do any more.
We're wrapping. Though I'm doing a Home Alone question next that will not involve a marijuana discussion.
So that will be your chance to win. Let me go get your prize, and we'll get ready for the question of the morning.
It will not contain anything from the John Hughes or the Ryan Reynolds comedies.
Well, I guess I'll put those back then, since we're not going to include anything from that.
Well, you know what? You don't want to go for Halloween as Deadpool anyway.
You could be learning jujitsu right now, or how to drive a race car, or do anything productive with your life, but no. You're listening to the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Now, Nikki.
Yeah.
I want you to look at me.
Yes.
Are you looking at me?
Right at you.
I'm standing up. Now, look, I want you to get 360 degrees.
I see your Blade Runner jacket, your Radio U shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see anything about me
that's different?
That says to you, well, no, I got my hair cut, but you didn't notice. Do you see, that was 2 days ago. Do you see anything about me?
It's not enough of a difference. You just get a trim. It's not a huge haircut. So it's hard to tell.
Mm-hmm. If I worked with a bunch of girls, they would notice.
Oh, really? You're just me.
Yeah. So it's all a bunch of boys around here. They never notice the changes.
Okay. And what else is there?
Okay. No, that's what I'm asking. Do I put off a vibe? And you've known me for a while, so feel free to dip into your history of me. Do I put off a vibe as someone that breaks and or abuses the things they own?
No, not at all.
Okay, then why does that?
I'll put an asterisk next to it.
Okay, all right.
I will feel like you can forget the things that you own. But
you, like, leave them someplace?
Yeah, like,
sure.
And that might, to the thing, be like, a
personal affront?
Hurtful.
Okay.
But not at all are you bad towards the things you have. Mm-hmm. You treat everything really nice.
Okay. So why do my things keep breaking? Can you tell me that?
Well, you had your Xbox, your newest one.
Mm-hmm. You had to take that in for service.
What else? Oh, your hard drive broke.
Uh-huh.
But that you had for a couple of years.
Okay. So
wear and tear.
My Bluetooth headphones.
Your Bluetooth headphones. But again, you had those for a couple of years. I'm surprised those lasted so long.
You know what? I think they might have gotten wet or something because I let them dry out. They're back to working.
Nice.
So that's a bonus.
Yes. What else?
Well, yesterday, I bought headphones at Christmas. Mm-hmm. Went to put them on. They cracked like the the actual physical, not the cups, the parts that are delivering the sound, but like the headband of the headphones.
Oh, I've had that happen.
Open it up and it was just like.
You can tape those things.
I feel like maybe there's some warranty that should be talked about.
Do you have a warranty with them?
Well, not like a Best Buy warranty, but I'm going to look and see what is Sony's warranty for those. The good news is I think I just threw away the box. So, great. The one bonus, though, is I can go to Best Buy and they will print you a receipt.
Oh, to go send it in.
If you're part of their like My Best Buy thing, which I believe is free to join, I don't know, but you can go in and say to them, I need a receipt for blank, and they will print you a receipt.
Well, the good news is with your headphones, I have a pair like that where they cracked on the side where it goes in and out like to adjust them.
Yep, that.
And it is the most annoying thing because you could get it to lay almost flat.
But it's not quite
but
right.
Not quite.
Yep.
And so you can still use them, but it's the most weirdest, uncomfortable thing ever.
Okay, I got one more for you. Mm-hmm. Same night, my Blu-ray player broke last night.
Oh, really? What is wrong? Over there. Stay over there.
What am I doing?
It's just something about the season.
What am I doing wrong?
You're not rough with that stuff.
Well, this is all inside a month. What am I doing?
Well, don't take it personally.
And just to be clear, I'm out of money to replace stuff. The Xbox was warranted. I replaced the hard drive. Like, I definitely didn't have enough money to replace those earbuds because they were really expensive. And now it's just like, all right, what?
You're gonna have to make do without a Blu-ray. Well, you have.
I took my Xbox down there and plugged it in.
Yeah, just use that. It's 4K.
It was just like, what is going on?
Sometimes it just happens. When it rains, it pours.
It's like everything.
All the electronics are like, let's just go, guys. We hate it here.
It's the worst.
We're leaving him now. How do you want to go? Let's just crash.
So it's fine. And I guess I'll probably just wait for Black Friday and
get a new one.
I think I've had that Blu-ray player for like probably 6 or 7 years. It's quote unquote old.
I have an empty or a one you can use if you could just find the cord and the remote for it.
It's fine.
Since I moved, I can't find that stuff.
I've got that Xbox. It's fine. But it was just one of those things where I was like, guys,
yeah, something else.
Guys, what's going on?
And at least it's just been electronics. If it was like a bone or something.
Oh, don't say that.
It'd be even worse.
Don't say that.
Let's think about how it's half full. It's not empty. It's half full.
Okay, I'm not breaking anything else. No bones. Oh, don't even say it.
Just wanted you to realize it's not so bad.
Oh, now my arms hurt. Okay.
Food fights, band interviews, Twitter fights. How else would you want to start your morning?
I feel traumatized, bruh. And now I'm tweeting about you, bruh. And now you're trending, bruh. And now your life is ruined, bruh. And now you're fired, bruh.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, go ahead and start packing your bags now.
Where are we going?
Well, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh.
You're going to Mars.
I'm going. I told you I do not want to. I don't want to go to space.
You're going.
I do not want to go to space.
I'm tired of your attitude.
I hate space stuff, and I don't want to be stuck up there. I know. I've seen at least a couple of movies. I know what's going to happen to me.
Your mom and I put all this work into this trip, and all you can do is complain about it.
And I can be ungrateful.
You know what?
No, I don't want to go to space. It's going to explode.
You could just be grateful.
Want to.
It's not going to explode.
No, I don't want to go to Mars.
We found water, so you're fine. Maybe.
It's not even sparkling water. I can't go.
So they believe the water is a sludge-like salty brine.
What am I supposed to do? Bring a filter thing? Or?
Yes. Haven't you seen those little straws? I saw one on Slick Deals last week. It's an everywhere straw.
Yeah.
And for $10, you just put it in and it filters it out.
I don't know if it can filter space stuff or like other planet stuff.
Oh, yeah. And they say the water is probably negative 68 degrees Celsius. So you're probably going to want to warm that up.
Hello, though. I love cold water. All right, that's the only bright spot that I've heard on this whole story. I love freezing water with like little chunks of ice in it. Mm-hmm. It seems
and
like I'm
love salt.
Yeah, I don't want to go though. I don't want to go on a spaceship.
It's got everything. I don't want to go on the cart. Well, they think that they found water beneath the icy pole of South Pole.
Now, are they going this based on like photos? They think, that looks maybe like water underneath there, we think, or how are they confirming this?
The lake was discovered by analyzing 29 sets of radar samplings.
I'm
They
not
also
trusting
believe
that.
the mile is...
I've been fooled by radon samplings before.
So they think that the lake is about 1 mile beneath the surface. So we're going to need to bring in the world's best deep core driller.
Fine, he can take my spot and I'll come later.
No, Nikki, you and Harry Stamper are going to Mars.
Don't want to.
You're gonna
No,
have to,
thank you.
They're going to have to unpack the judge.
Nope.
Lower the hammer.
Couldn't possibly go.
You know what? You're making a huge mistake.
Yeah, I'll miss out. Really sorry about that.
Yeah. You know what, Nikki? A lot of people, they don't even make it out of their own country. They don't see the world. You want to die on your planet of origin? Come on.
I'd be happy to.
You could be one of the
Just
first
happy
people to die on Mars.
I don't want to.
All right, fine, whatever.
And you know what? Then, when you have my funeral, I want you to apologize because I told you I didn't want to go to Mars.
Nikki, everyone's going to die, but not
And
everyone
I want you
truly
to feel
lives.
guilty that you encouraged me and forced me to go to Mars.
You know what? The only thing that I'll feel bad about is all the goats that didn't get cuddled because you chose Mars instead of the goat farm.
I don't think they'd want me to go because I'd have a bad attitude the entire trip.
I don't think you
Very bad attitude.
I don't think you would. I think at first you would. And I think finally...
Is astronaut Nikki pouting? Yes, she is.
Hey, did you see The Martian? Remember when they were able to take all of those movies and music that they liked? You'd be totally entertained the whole time.
I haven't seen that movie because I don't like space stuff.
I haven't seen it either. I bought it, but I never watched it.
Well, that's okay.
So, hey, listen, it's just the riot being the riot.
Starting your day with the worst of the riot is a great idea because it's guaranteed to get better from here. It's The Riot on Radio U.
If you're afraid of losing yourself...
This is the way you can.
I'll just tell you.
It is the riot.
So here's a little something that's going. You guys are familiar with the Riot's Taco Bell cleanse. That's when you eat at Taco Bell and then your body rejects everything.
Maybe quarterly you go,
Yeah.
and not all the time. Your body can't handle it, but you tend to... I never really have a problem, but when you go, you tend to not feel as good afterwards.
Put down the plastic and put the water bottles in the bathroom.
Because someone is...
I'm going to Taco Bell.
Someone's going to be dehydrated in a moment.
Okay.
You put a little Gatorade, or with, like, if you're really sick, the Pedialyte stuff they always say.
You know what? Forget it. Just go ahead and put some bags of saline solution in.
Right on in me.
I'm dropping a main line. So Taco Bell, right?
Yeah.
They've got a little problem. They sell cheese at home, liquid
So this
cheese.
is technically Kraft Heinz.
Well, they own the brand. They've got a deal, whatever. You know, you go to the chip aisle, and there are those little glass jars of liquid cheese. And there's some that are Tostitos and some that are Taco Bell.
I love right now someone's going, yes. Oh,
Yes,
no,
I know.
I have
Yes,
that.
yes.
This is a voluntary recall. 15-ounce cases of the Taco Bell salsa con queso mild cheese dip. If you have that with the best used date from October 31st to January 22nd, 2019, there's been no reports of illness related to it, but it's being recalled for potentially botulism, which is not funny because it can be fatal. So.
Nikki, botulism cheese.
But that's a party cheese. It's like, to me, what's the other moldy cheese that people eat? What's the one? Blue cheese.
Blue cheese? Yeah. Oh, I love blue cheese.
You do not, do
Yes,
you?
I do.
Oh, it's
but
gross.
I can't eat it. That actually, all jokes aside, I always get so sick when I eat
with
blue
it?
cheese. Yeah,
Blah.
I can't take that. But, you know, I just feel like the reason they haven't had any illness reported is because no. I think it's because anybody that buys the Taco Bell cheese knows what's going to happen afterwards.
Sure.
So they just assume that it's part of the brand experience.
So for botulism, you can have symptoms, dizziness, double vision as well, difficulty breathing. So it's not just like sickness, like sick tummy stuff, but you can have way more than that. So customers are advised, don't eat the product. I know it looks tempting, but don't eat it. Return it to where you got it for an exchange or a full refund.
Listen, guys, I'm telling you right now, I'm off liquid cheese. I don't eat it
Do
because
you want to tell them about the movie theater?
I had botulism cheese. Now, technically, I did not get it tested for botulism, but
you
I
might as
feel
well have had that.
confident. I went to the movie theater with my dad last summer. We went to see The Mummy. The Mummy could have also been what made us sick. So we start the movie and we get ourselves some pretzels and cheese.
Pretzel bites?
And then with like 15 minutes to go in the movie just breaks. Like the power in our theater went out. None of the other theaters. So we go out, talk to them. They're like, yeah, we'll have this thing ready in about 15 minutes. We'll have it fixed. You can either get your money back, or if you want to stay and finish the movie, you can do that too. And my dad and I were like, sure, we'll stay. How about some more pretzels and cheese?
And that was the downfall.
Yeah.
See, it's the cheese. It's like in a cauldron. But yet they put it in a bag, don't they? So they don't have to actually clean it out, or they never get to the bottom of the cauldron of cheese. It's just always going and going. And the cheese made you sick.
Oh, botulism cheese, Nikki. That's why, to this day, I want, every time I go to the movies, it's almost like flirting with danger. You're like standing at the edge of a cliff looking over, like, I wonder what would happen if.
Well, you had it once. Maybe your body would be fine.
No. Those are the kind of thoughts that lead to botulism night.
You sure?
Everybody, come on over. Botulism night. I had Taco Bell, then I went to the theater and had some pretzels and cheese.
Your body's just like, what are you doing?
I came home and weighed myself. I want to see what it's like when it's over.
Now, what we could do is you could still get your pretzel bites, and we could bring our own cheese in. They never check bags, so.
That's true.
But then we would have gone to the store to get the Taco Bell cheese dip, and then we would have had it anyways.
Which is why, what do we say, Nikki?
Don't eat.
Never trust liquid cheese.
You're right.
If there's a legacy I can leave you, let it be that.
The Riot sees gas station hot dogs as part of a balanced breakfast.
Is that bad?
Well, not good.
It's The Riot on RadioU.
You know, there are good things in life, guys. There are good things. You can write that down. There are.
You are full of good stuff today.
I'm just spouting wisdom. Just spouting wisdom.
It's like a fountain of knowledge over there.
I got a little more I got to spray on you, though. There are good things in life.
Still.
But sometimes too much of a good thing is a bad thing.
Sure.
That's right, Nikki. And I feel like this was something that you and I, very specifically you, needed to hear about. And since I care enough about you, I'm willing.
Tell me?
I'm willing to have the hard conversations.
Okay, what is it?
Apparently, you have a problem that you share with a lot of other adults. And
What is it?
That's a quote from this article. So anyone over 18, that's an adult. And that is eating vitamin gummies for snacks.
That was only at nighttime every so often. When you're hungry, and I had gummies in my nightstand, vitamin ones, and
gummies in my nightstand. That
and
feels
you're
like
you don't want to get up and go and get a snack, so you just have a couple just to kind of take care of that hunger. That's it.
I feel like that's a Lifetime movie, Gummies in My Nightstand.
Gummy snack.
And it's about how you were being terribly abused and your only escape was the gummies in your nightstand.
Okay, that's dark. I just did it a couple of times. No big deal. No big deal. It's not all the time. It's not an everyday problem.
I'm not addicted. I just did it a couple of times, okay? Sometimes in the middle of the night. Mommy needs a little something.
It's been a long time, so it's not a problem anymore.
I can stop anytime I want.
I don't even have any gummy vitamins anymore.
Right. You don't have a person that delivers them. That's not part of your Amazon delivery service. I get a pack of 30 every other day. Right now I'm out, okay?
They're like, what candy are you always eating? It's not, it's vitamins. But too many vitamins can be destructive to you.
Nikki needs her num-nums. So, okay, they are saying that apparently this is a thing. People think, I love this, people won't eat a regular gummy bear, but they think because these gummies are full of vitamins.
They'll have it as like candy or something?
They'll have it like it's a candy snack.
So like you go to the movie or something, and instead of getting gummy bears, you'll bring a bag of your gummy vitamins?
That's right.
They do always put a suggested limit for you.
Do you know that in 2016, worldwide gummy vitamins made $2.68 billion?
It was the other day I was online looking for a new daily vitamin, and it was hard to find a non-gummy one. All the ones that are popular are all gummies nowadays.
Man, we're feeling the gummies. Well, here you go, Nikki. Apparently, they are actually way more loaded with sugar than a regular gummy would be because they have to make it taste sweet, and to overcome all the vitamins that are in it.
Because of the taste of that.
There's way more sugar than you would get in a normal vitamin. Also, I've got a whole list of symptoms that you could experience by eating too many of
Gummy
them.
Vitamins.
I'll give you a hint. It's cleanse-like.
Similar to our Taco Bell story.
And I'll
Remember
leave it at that.
botulism? It's similar to that.
I just love the idea of like going to the store and you're like, well, these are vitamin gummies, so they're healthy. It's fine.
I mean, in your head, it kind of makes sense. You think, oh, great, I'll have this and I'll get some vitamins.
In some weird way, you're right.
It works.
It totally makes sense, which is why I'm taking the time to specifically address you, Nikki, and all of those people that
other gummy
are
vitamin
like you,
users
that are
and
in the
abusers.
middle, in the middle of the night, you're like, ooh, a handful's not going to hurt. You know what? Hang on. Let me just tap the bottom. Sometimes they get stuck.
Come down then, yeah.
Sometimes they get stuck.
All right, now we know.
We thought about selling the worst of the riot, but let's be honest, no one is buying this stuff. Get it for free on the RadioU app.
If you like something, your next instinct is to learn more about it and go deeper. And I should have learned my lesson because, when you love a band, you want to go meet them. Or if you like a celebrity, you're like, oh, it'd be so cool to meet them.
Yeah.
And if you ever get a chance to meet your hero, you discover that it's not, sometimes it's awesome.
Sometimes it can be great. Other times it can be an eye-opening experience that they're just human like you are. And sometimes they can be even worse than that.
You guys hear the positive spin Nikki's putting on it? Like, I've encountered some people where I was like, oh, I really wish I would have never met them. And I don't mean that like I want them to die. I just mean I had an image of them that has been so tarnished.
Sure. Well, some of the ones that you're talking about are actually just not very nice. That's just it.
There's some true stories here, right? I've gotten to a point now where I'm like, if I really like something, I'm like, nope, I don't want to know anything about it. Please.
Put your head in the sand.
Let me enjoy it. Don't tell me about how terrible the people are. I just want to enjoy it. Now, that's my example. My reality is this, is that I have spent the last 3 or 4 days learning so much, and it's about to get nerdy, about audio quality and how things are recorded and then how things are spit out at you, whether it's through your phone or an MP3 player or like at home, I've got a stereo receiver and I got that Apple TV 4K. Man, I am just like, all right, put this in. What's the sample rate? What's the bit depth? Because my receiver will tell me. And so now I'm like, all right, wait. Why is it only at 48 kilohertz? I need it to be more. It can go higher. The format allows this. Why isn't it going to 96?
You've been dissecting
it can do 192. Why is it doing 192? Does anybody know a place I can get 192?
Now, this is because you did get a new receiver.
Yeah, I did.
And so you're playing around with it.
Yeah, and I can't stop.
You can't stop it?
I'm just like, wait a minute. Is there a way that we can tweak this to make it a little bit better? Can I tell the difference? Can I tell the difference between this and this? All right, I'm going to play this. And I'm going to play this. Can I tell the difference? Hey, can you guys come in here? I'm going to turn my back and I want you to change the sources. I want to see if we can tell the difference.
I thought you said, though, that this would only be a couple of days, and then you'd be free of it. Are you having a hard time?
It's Thursday. That was Saturday.
Yeah, and you're still stuck on it?
Well, you know what? I've been learning a lot, and that's why I feel like sometimes you're better off not knowing. Sometimes it's better to just sit down and enjoy rather than being like, you know what, pull the curtain back. I want to get back there and check the numbers. What are the numbers on this?
Enjoy the receiver you got.
It's like, hey, doesn't it sound great? Yes, but what if it could sound 3% better? What do you think about that?
No one would be able to tell.
I know. But then that's when it's like, can I tell? I think I can, but can I just tell because I know? Or is it because it's actually better?
Well, you need to take a break on that.
I do need to take a break, Nikki. I keep reading about it. I'm like, all right, well, let's see. 16-bit versus 24-bit. 24-bit's better, but the argument is people can't tell the difference. Some people can tell. Well, how many
your new
ohms,
receiver, though?
Nikki, how many ohms are the speaker?
Are you liking it?
Oh, no, it's magnificent.
It's good? Okay,
it's
good.
magnificent.
All right.
Like, I just need to get myself to relax long enough to enjoy it because I'll spend 5 minutes watching something. I'm like, wait a minute. Am I using the right setting for this? I need to go in and take a look.
He can't just enjoy.
No, my own mind drives me insane sometimes. That's the great thing about going to the movie theater. I can't fix anything.
You just sit there and your mind is quiet.
Though every once in a while I walk in and I'm like, guys, This should be louder. Now, it doesn't need to be loud. It should be full. This is not a full sound.
Let me get back there and help you out. I'll get on back.
Let's get the volume up 15%.
The Riot. The Riot.
All right, pace yourself because you're going to have to do this all day for very little money.
Radio U.
Bummer time, everybody. Was it last week? Maybe 2 weeks ago? We talked about the ninja shortage.
Oh, in Japan. It was a town where they have a ninja school. And they said that so many people, the art has been lost. The jobs have been unfulfilled. And so they are asking, hey, if people want to come, you can actually make a pretty good living out of it.
Except all that's not true.
Was it all a lie or is it filled? Or
Okay, here's where it goes. Watch this train as it breaks down.
Yeah.
Okay, apparently that story was originally reported on NPR, which I'll have to say by the time it got to me, I had no idea. So according to what I'm reading now, and I haven't done the reporting, so this could be wrong too. I don't know.
This could be all a lie.
But according to this particular source I'm looking at, and this has also been going around, there was a press release that was issued by Iga. That's the city in Japan. And that press release got translated incorrectly. The guy at NPR went off the incorrectly translated press release.
And so then the wrong news is going out.
Which once they reported it, it got picked up by a bunch of other people.
So a lot of people trust NPR news.
So it was like game of telephone, and it finally came down to us. And we were saying, hey, you can go to Japan and be a ninja for $100,000 a year.
Well, no, it was like $80,000.
It was $85,000.
$85,000 would be like the salary. So are they not, like, what was the lie or what didn't get translated right?
Well, they're not hiring, and that...
All these people were, like, trying to get over there.
They said they've been contacted by only 115 people.
That's not as many as I thought.
But they were people from 23 different countries that wanted to come and live there. They said,
is there not a shortage or just the fact that they're not hiring for that?
No, they're neither. None of that. There's no shortage and they're not hiring.
Well, that really got translated wrong.
Well, I don't have the correctly translated thing here, but they have reached out to multiple news outlets in the United States to let them know, hey, guys, it's all wrong.
You can't be
please come and visit, but stop calling.
Can't be a ninja. There's no ninja school for you.
No ninja school for you. So.
And you were all ready to go. You told your mom you finally found something. You finally found a job you want to do.
You know what? Ever since that time you went to that flea market and you bought that ninja star and you were throwing it at your wall and you got in trouble for it, this was vindication for that, except there's no vindication.
You can still go over there and try to learn the art of being a ninja, can't you?
Probably.
But maybe not officially in the school, or, you'd have to go through like the movie sort of thing where you have to show and prove your worth and start off low, work high, have a good work ethic.
I mean, if I were you,
they'll let you in.
I'd probably head to the Himalayas, get the purple flower, hike to the top, and give it to the League of Shadows. That's probably your best bet, but there may be some more formal training available.
And again, travel's difficult, so just see.
Yeah, I mean,
not have a movie weekend with all the ninja movies.
Well, we did find out that American Ninja was coming to Hulu next month.
Train for that.
August 1st. I'm sure that by imitating Michael Dudikoff's moves, you will be ready to be a ninja.
Just an American ninja.
Wish the worst of the riot would never end?
Everything that has a beginning has an end.
What is wrong with you? Get our daily podcast through iTunes, Google Play, or the Radio U app.
You go to the movies, Nikki. Mm-hmm. What if you had the option, instead of listening to the sound in the theater, of putting on some headphones?
Oh, I'd love it so much.
Really?
I would love it so much. You know how other noises bother me?
Yeah, that's true.
And when you get into a theater, you can run into...
Oh, you can hear people eating.
Well, and also just people talking and not paying attention. And oh my gosh, what was it, the last movie? Did the guy, was it Chaw or whatever they put in there?
Yeah.
He had that. And so he kept spitting it into
a can or whatever.
It was driving me crazy. I'm like, I know what you're doing. Everybody knows what you're doing. Stop doing it. You don't need to do this like in the movie theater over and over. And if I had headphones, I could have just actually enjoyed the movie without hearing him and his thing going on.
Boy, the funny thing is for me is that like part of the experience is I want the high quality sound that is built into
The speakers there?
The more premium theater that you will go see. I mean, I have a nice setup at home, but like a Dolby Atmos theater with a big screen, that's part of the premium that I'm, in some cases, willing to pay for. But, Nikki, they hear you. And there is a trial going on right now in Los Angeles and Scottsdale, Arizona. Mm-hmm. It's a company called SoundFi. And here's what SoundFi does. You would take your phone into the movie theater. And then, I don't know if you check in or how it works, but it doesn't cost, at least as of right now, it doesn't cost anything. I don't know if you would pay more for it or if the theater pays for it or what. But you take your phone in and you put your headphones in, and basically...
So it's through your phone? Through the app?
There are a couple of theaters in these locations where the SoundFi is enabled. So you download the app, and then there are some tones that the human ears cannot hear, but the phone will pick up on, and it will sync with the film, and it will provide you with a binaural soundtrack, which means that you're getting a discrete soundtrack to each ear.
I would love it.
And they say that the experience is like having Dolby Atmos
in your headphones
in a big room, but it's just going to be there in your headphones.
I think it'd be awesome.
You'd be game for it.
I would totally be game for it. Now, I know sometimes you're like, well, in the theater, what if something happened? You need to hear like the around noise.
Right.
I'd risk it. I would be fine with it.
Okay.
Just have the headphones on.
I'd be willing to give it a shot once and see what I think of it. And I mean, maybe it would be awesome.
You'd be more immersed in the movie.
Maybe.
You know, because you wouldn't have the room noise with it as much.
Yeah. I mean, for me, again, part of the fun is the ambiance of the room. But I'll have to admit, if two guys over, somebody's doing chaw.
Just too much.
That would begin to really annoy me.
Or sometimes, like, you go in, like, I'll sometimes see an earlier movie, and I think they turn those down less.
Yes, I agree.
Than they do like on a weeknight, or
I want them to turn it up.
If you're seeing like a 10 o'clock movie at night, it's a lot louder than they let the movies in the morning. And I'm like, sometimes I just want to ask, like, can you turn it up a little bit?
Hey guys, listen.
It's like, I know what you're doing.
Could you turn this up, please?
So just some of those weird things that might happen.
The Riot with Obadiah.
Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix.
The Riot with Nikki.
Shut up.
Oh, don't tell me to shut up!
The Riot on RadioU.
You know, we are advocates of fitness here at The Riot. I mean, there is part of me that's like, hey, eat what you want. But if you're going to keep eating what you want, you don't want to reach a point where you can't move anymore. So
you need to eat.
You eat and exercise.
Both together.
It's something that some people do. Like, I'm not necessarily into it. The jumping jack. You know, it's a timeless classic, some would say, to get your exercise. But I'll have to say there are places where I find the jumping jack appropriate and places where I don't find it appropriate. Like, for example, let's say that you're a man and you're in Nashville and you stop in at McDonald's. See, food.
Sure.
Eating what you want.
So got to fuel your body, but working out.
But then we've got to have a little fitness. So I understand what it's like to get done with some French fries and say to yourself, man, I got to get to the gym.
What if you're just wanting to do it right then and there?
You can't always make it. And you make too much of a scene to do your jumping jacks there in the restaurant. So you just head into the bathroom for a minute and do your jumping jacks. Here's the thing, and I totally get this. When you do jumping jacks, you do have a tendency to sweat a lot.
Oh, I know
which is
where
why
this is going.
I always do my jumping jacks naked.
That's what I thought this story would go with.
So he was in the bathroom doing his naked jumping jacks.
Why?
And he was in the women's bathroom doing
worse.
naked jumping jacks.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, I know. They ended up
taking him away.
He got arrested. The police arrived and said he smelled strongly of chemical fumes, and they believe that he'd been huffing.
Yeah.
You know, where you grab yourself the can or the paint or whatever. So they think he'd been huffing, and that's what ended up happening. Here's my thought is, I would love to go. His name's Brody. I would have loved to talk to Brody in the morning.
Before it all happened?
Be like, Brody, here's the thing.
No, you need to record that, too, and then show it to him at the end.
I want you to know that before the day is over, you're going to be doing naked jumping jacks in the women's room at McDonald's. What do you think?
What's leading to that point?
And do you think that he would be like, yeah, I can see that. I can.
Maybe that
I
wasn't
can see
his
me doing that.
first jumping jack in the bathroom.
Maybe not.
Could have been a problem.
Or do you think he would have been like, oh, there's no way.
I got it together. I'm fine.
There's no way that's going to happen.
I don't know.
I just want to know, what's the base level he started at? You know, did he start at there's just absolutely no way that would ever happen? Or was it I don't want to say no to anything right now. You know, I want to keep my options open. Like, where did he start? Because I would like to know. I'm starting at I'm not doing naked jumping jacks in the bathroom.
Sure.
But, I start there. So if I were to be, inebriated in some way, how far would I fall?
I think that's why I've always had a healthy fear of all that stuff. You have to be afraid. You're like, but some people are perfectly fine. Doesn't matter. You don't know when you cross over and you're the one that's the problem, or you're really in deep. You have no idea, so it's better to be safe.
You don't know till you wake up in the back of a police cruiser with a blanket on, and you're like, where are my clothes and why am I so sweaty? Mm-hmm. Also, look at how toned my legs are right now.
What was I doing?
Something. There are obviously things that aren't working, but here are some things that are working.
These are the stories that you need to remember when it might come up and you're like, no, you know what? I'm going to say no.
We're going to keep the lid on that paint can.
Good job. And you said no to it.
We're just going to keep the lid on that.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
Everybody, come on over. Botulism night.